that thought that less than half are in here, and the none of it's are all sort of about the same. And so you can see, depending on how you want to look at it, you can sort of say that half the class have done half or more, or half the class have done half or less, depending on how you want to think about it. And the thing that I haven't been able to work out yet is how does this relate to a student or a group of students who have all, say, done NCA Level 3 biology somewhere, or science biology at a particular level somewhere. This seems to me to be a very broad distribution, even within these very broad categories, of background information that the students are bringing to the paper. So, and this is really something that I'd be interested to get feedback on, is trying to work out that when you talk about a particular curriculum and how it's delivered, is it delivered in the same way nationwide? Would you expect a student who had done Biology 3 in Dunedin, or in Christchurch, or in Wellington, or whatever, to have the same level of background when they come down to us? I mean, none of it's a sort of self-explanatory, and there's a group of students that haven't been through the process. So if you sort of tease out the difficulty that the students found with the paper, with their background, you get pretty much the kind of results that you would expect. So what we've got here, along the bottom here, is we've got how much the students have done, or how much they perceive they've done of that material. Up here we've got how difficult they found the material, and as I said, you get what you would expect if you were looking at this. This group here in blue, the students that say they've done all of it, they're a very small cohort, so if we sort of combine those with the students that say they've done most of the material, you'll see that those students find the difficulty of your paper about right or slightly easy, which is what you would expect. As you start to move towards the students that have said, well, they've done about half, or some, or none of the paper, they start to find the paper more difficult, which again is what you would predict. So again, having a look at the assessments and thinking about how, I don't know if the assessment and the kind of answers we get completely reflect what we're seeing here. And again, just like Murray was talking about before, I went and had a look at the NCA Level 3 exam and had a look and see how did that compare to the kind of questions that we ask in cells. And if you have a look at it, in general, the questions are very similar. It might be describe some process, describe transcription, describe translation. And so you get those types of questions. Although we do also try and ask questions, some more questions where they might need to try and analyse something. And that's very much more like scholarship. Although we don't do as, when you have a look at the scholarship exam covering the molecular biology material, it's in general something that we would never ask at first year. In part because we don't have as large a proportion within a 3-hour exam to ask that kind of question. But the level of knowledge and the level of interpretation is not something that we would strive. And so I'm wondering that in our class we have students who've done none of it who are really struggling. We've got students who are scholarship students who are probably very bored with the material. If they've managed to get scholarship in biology, their level of knowledge and what they've been able to perceive from the material, they would probably be quite bored in our class. And even though I don't know if this sort of correlates to the other parts of the cells paper, my guess is that it probably does. And probably from what we've heard today, this overlap issue between high school and the first year is something that probably follows through. It would be interesting to correlate, how they perceive their overlap with their performance, and that might be something I'll follow up in the future. I suppose the other question is this really a problem? Is this something that we need to worry about? Is this simply a consequence of having an open access system, where you have a system where a student gets university entrance and then they can do the paper? They come and do first year health science, or they come along and they can do the paper. Does it then just mean that at first year what we need to do is we need to bring the students up to a certain level? We need to say that there is going to be a range of capabilities, and what we're going to try and do is make sure you're all at the same level so that when you go through the second year, we know that we're all starting at the same level. And so in fact this may not be a problem. It may be a problem for the individual students during the paper, but as a paper perspective, or what we're doing at first year, it may not be a problem. Now you could also take the converse argument and say that the first year at university should be a significant step up from high school. Even though these papers are part of something like a health science first year program, they also represent papers that are the first year of a 3-year degree, and so they need to meet that need as well. So I'm not sure whether or not it's a problem, and that's something I'd be interested to get feedback on about what people think. I suppose one comforting thing in some respect is I also asked the students about how did we help them with the material if they'd done it before? So if they'd covered any of the material previously, did they feel, having done the material again in cells, that they understood it better, or in fact understood it worse? And you'll see that this is a little bit of a worry here. We have 12% that we've done some damage to along the way. And I don't know if we've done damage because we've done a particularly poor job, or because the notions that they've come with, haven't been quite right. Are they students that were in that some of it category? They've done some of it, and they haven't quite got it, and so they've become more confused as we looked at a different level. If you break I haven't got the graphs for this, but if you break this up again into those students who say they've done all of it or some of it, what you tend to find is, although it's a bit fuzzy, is that those students who say they've done more of the material, we tend to have made no difference to them. They knew it before they came. We haven't helped them in any way, but we haven't hurt them either. Whereas those that have sort of done half of it or most of it, then there's quite a few of those students that we help. So it seems like we are at least doing some good and not too much damage. But really, what I'm interested in is feedback from sort of is this something that we should be worried about? And other experiences, having this open access system, is this an issue that we should be concerned about, or do we accept it as a reality? All right, thank you.